Hi, my babies. How you guys doing? I hope your day is going absolutely magnificent. If it isn't, I am so sorry. I hope it gets better. I don't know what to tell you. I got enough. So for this video, I am going to react to, can LGBTQ plus and Christians see eye to eye? Middle ground. So the reason why I wanted to react to this is because, well, a little background about Che. I was raised very religious, but I always questioned a lot of things, not in a way to oppose, but I questioned a lot of logics, right? And so as I grew up, I kind of became myself, and then this is me, still learning, still doing stuff. And I've come to the conclusion for myself that being a Christian and being part of the LGBTQ plus community is not mutually exclusive. I can legit be both. Being gay or anything other than a man and a woman get together, get married, and have a bunch of kids is wrong, period. So there was no discussion about any of this. I grew into myself and I realized that that's just simply not accurate. That's just not accurate. I believe in higher power. Like I have a spiritual life. I also happen to be gay. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. You know what I mean? That's my coming into this. That's my perspective coming into this. I'm very open-minded, but I kind of think the whole theory of exclusivity is absolute trash and absolute bullshit. Honestly, I don't think it's, no. But anyway, let's get into it.
This is a physical manifestation of love. This is glorious and beautiful, and any God which denies me for this, I don't want to have a part of.
On the left-hand side, can I have my LGBT folks? On the right-hand side, can I have my conservatives? There are times when I feel uncomfortable expressing my views around sexuality.
I get uncomfortable primarily because the bromance of like, well, there's two girls, who's the boy? And then it really just breaks the ice as it's like, there isn't supposed to.
All right. I really do believe this all started with the concept of wanting to give certain people certain jobs. It's like telephone. It evolved into the shit that we have now, where women do this and men do that. So now that image is there, when there's a couple of two women and women are supposed to do this and do that, so who does the male part that's supposed to go with the woman part? The only thing women can't do is jizz. The only thing men can't do is give birth and have their period and a bunch of other shit. But those are the major ones that I can think of. That question alone should make you, just asking it and hearing yourself ask that question out loud should make you think for yourself. Like, wait a minute, they're together. I mean, do they really need a man for anything? Honestly? I mean, in the past, because of the rules that have been set because of this understanding, yes. Nowadays, not really. So, you know, and by the rules in the past, I mean men's right to own property and women's rejection. They couldn't own property. That's changed, obviously. But that shit, it is very uncomfortable. That question alone is, it's not a stupid question. It's not a stupid question. It's just, you should be able to answer that question for yourself this day and age.
Be a boy. That's why we're there. I do my best to break the ice with the comedic deflection, which I've learned is a self-defense mechanism, right? So.
I come from a very conservative community, and so, you know, it just wasn't talked about. The people I've had the most conversation with about are actually my family, which is really weird because I came out to my parents because my dad was going to be leading the protests at the Pride Festival that my boyfriend wanted me to go to. So
I'm a pastor as well. I'm also a community leader in Boyle Heights, And in that community, there's a large LGBTQ presence. So there's that fear of really coming out and say what I believe, because I do love everybody, and I don't want to be pushed to the side just because I have a certain feeling about, any topic really.
I just wanted to say too, and it's not the beliefs that sometimes I have a problem with, or I think people have a problem with in general. It's just like the actions from the beliefs. So like, it's okay to have beliefs, but if we like can be loving in our beliefs,
Trust in
and,
the background.
how our actions come from those beliefs, and like, I love that we're having this conversation. Like trying to breach those, like build a bridge.
Some sins are worse than others.
In the eyes of, of the God I worship, I believe that any sin separates us from Him because He's holy and pure. But at the same time, I think there are certain sins that will have greater consequences.
Yeah, I resonate with that. For me, it would be, killing another human is the worst. That's it.
Okay, so technically all sins are punishable. All sins are bad. Everything bad is just bad. Period. That's it. There's no if, buts, and ands. According to the Bible and everybody who thinks black and white, it's just bad. These people, I believe, are more responding in a 21st century mindset, which I'm okay with, but I don't think they realize they're doing that.
Can I ask you two this? Do you all see homosexuality as a sin?
Yes.
And if so, where on that scale?
I don't think a homosexual tendency or an attraction to somebody of the same gender is a sin. I think that's a natural feeling. I think when you...
What the okay, no, we're not going to do this. 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 We are not going to do this. I've seen so many people lie to themselves and say that their attraction isn't sinful. Their attraction isn't sinful. The fact that they're gay inside isn't sinful. The sinful part is actually going through with it. Whatever happened to one commandment that says, thou shalt not covet your brother's wife or something like that? Covet means be jealous of, think about. If you're attracted, you're thinking about. Come on now. Get it together, people. Get it all the way together.
Start engaging in a lifestyle and you act upon that tendency, then because it goes against what I believe God designed, then I think that's clearly a sin.
I just don't believe in sin because I feel that sometimes being punitive about things can like make you repress things, and like instinctually I was like, but not acting on them would be a sin. Like that's how it feels for me, like being dishonest to myself, that feels wrong.
A lot of emotions, I believe, I'm not a psychologist, please don't take this as medical or professional opinion. I'm just saying that my opinion is that when you're feeling something emotionally that's strong enough, negative enough, it bleeds into your physical health. You're attracted to somebody, you're trapped in your own life. Let's say, for example, for queerness sake, you're trapped in your own life. You're basically making yourself sick. You're tired of hiding. You're always paranoid. You always have anxiety. What do you think that shit is? That shit should be a sin. You're literally hurting yourself. The vessel, the church that God has given you, the body that God has given you, you're fucking hurting it. Think about that.
At some point in my life, I was taught that sex is wrong.
I guess like within the context, sex is bad outside the context of marriage. And so I guess that's how I identified with the question.
I had a very strong religious upbringing, and I ended up doing a lot of self-harm, and I ended up doing a lot of things just to try and cope with these urges that when I finally gave into them, I went,
Exhibit A, someone harming themselves and their health going to shit.
This is a physical manifestation of love. This is glorious and beautiful, and any God which denies me for this, I don't want to have a part of. Because whatever this is I know for a fact to be a truth because it is the nature of love.
Yeah, just responding to your story, it makes me sad to hear that that you decided to hurt yourself. Yeah, I still hold on to what I believe are my beliefs, but at the same time, I wish there was a better way for you to talk to someone and to process and to think through reconciling how you feel with like what you may have been taught or have read through scripture.
You know what you can do? You can stop indoctrinating your children to hate a specific thing or somebody or a preference. Let them grow up being open and understanding everybody. Doesn't mean they're going to go for one thing or the other because you've taught them about it. Having knowledge of something prepares you for future instances. And it prepares you not to be an asshole because you're afraid and fucking punch somebody in the face or whatever other case they may be. I punched him because I thought he was going to hit on me. I've heard those things before. Come on now. Try doing that. And as a church, try teaching the older people who are already grown up to stop doing these things because it's hurting them too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I think there's a lot of cultural baggage, I think, around Christianity that isn't necessarily inherently part of any biblical Christianity.
Even though I grew up in a Christian family, I don't recall ever being told that sex was wrong or it was a bad thing. I think I grew up with the understanding that sex is a beautiful thing. It was given to us as a gift to enjoy. There's a place where it's been designed for, a place where we can enjoy it, and there's a place where it's detestable in the sight of the Creator, the one who gave it to us.
I just don't like the idea.
The good part, sex is good. It's healthy. You do it with somebody you love, someone you care for, or someone you're interested in. You know what I mean? Sex should be a healthy, safe thing. Those are the good things. Also, and some things that not a lot of people might agree with, but like waiting to have sex for marriage or commitment or monogamy or whatever the case is. Waiting to have sex when you're comfortable. Now, the darker side of that teaching is, sex is only between a man and a woman and anything else is perverse and all this other crap that I was taught that it seems to me he was taught as well.
That anything's really detestable, you know what I mean? So I just don't.
But wouldn't you say that even sex for you within certain contexts is detestable, right? Like if it's non-consensual, like that's pretty detestable.
Yeah,
right?
It's
So
rape.
The things that I consent to are, I think, not like that. I have sometimes no control over if it's non-consensual.
People should honor the pronouns others wish to be called.
These gotcha questions are fucking annoying. Because, duh, it's nasty, it's horrible when the sex I'm having is not consensual. It's called rape and molestation and sexual harassment and all kinds of other shit. What the fuck kind of question is that?
Right, like if it's non-consensual, like that's pretty detestable.
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
So even in that
the things
context,
that I consent to are, I think, not like that. I have sometimes no control over if it's non-consensual.
People should honor the pronouns others wish to be called.
I am all for this. Like, I identify as they. People don't consider it, and I think that like having these conversations about how people want to identify is like really important in a way that we can move things forward and stuff.
Yeah, if you're gonna hey, if you don't use whatever, you're gonna get fined or whatever, like that's, I'm not a big fan of that.
These are conversations between us though,
but
right?
But otherwise it's just being respectful.
So for me, I never correct people because many times people do confuse me as sir. I don't, it doesn't faze me. However, I'm born in a female body, I'm a she. There are times where my girlfriends have said, oh, my boyfriend is and that, just because of their comfort zone, they don't want to have to deal with the whole like social stigma.
So you're comfortable with them presenting you as a male?
It doesn't faze me.
That second part, being presented as a male, I don't know how comfortable I would be with that. But when people confuse me for a man, I get a little upset sometimes when I'm obviously looking like a woman. But for the most part, if I'm like with like my curls, like a jersey and some baggy jeans, they're obviously not gonna see a chick. Like, it's common sense. So I'm not gonna hold them against it. But if I correct them, or they find out that I'm a she, and they persist in calling me Mr. or Sir or he, I don't get pissed off.
Really?
It doesn't faze me at all because my identity and my expressions are masculine, and I've come to the terms and the realization that I don't need to chop up my body into different pieces to fit in the social little box that is man. If you want to address me, you can address me as he or she or them or girl, Becky with the good hair, or Beck.
Yeah.
It doesn't, as long as the term is respectful,
Yeah.
I will take it.
I mean,
I
I
like
step
it.
back just because it's a complicated topic. Because
I like it.
with language is powerful, and so when somebody who I would consider female wants to be called a male, I would want to probably respect that. But I still firmly believe that like God created there to be man and a woman, and I would like to sit down and talk to that person in depth before leaning one way or the other. Yeah.
I have a intimate relationship with you, a professional relationship with you, a relationship with you where I have to see you on a daily basis. I'm going to give you my respect and call you by what you would like to be called. My opinions on the matter don't fucking matter. You respect that person for who they identify as. Period. No ifs, buts, or ands, or they were born this, they were born that. Okay, that's what you believe. That's perfectly fine. That is what you believe. That is fine. Nobody's taking it away from you. I don't want to change your mind. But respect that other human being for what they're asking you to do when you're directing yourself towards them. Humane. Very simple. It's not rocket science, people.
People should have the right to have sex with anyone they want.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Consensually, right?
all right.
Keyword here is consensual. And I'm going to add another thing. A person of age who is consensual and in their right mind.
Consensually.
With anyone, okay, yes, in the term anyone, except children.
Yeah.
As humans, and as creatures of a divine spirit, we have the right to follow our instincts and our sexual urges without punishing ourselves for, wanting a woman or wanting a man. And so, yeah, anyone has the right to consensual love making.
So the reason why I stepped back, and you guys would agree with me, but when I was 9 years old, I was touched by a family member, and so I can't step forward when that question is asked. And I know you guys wouldn't agree with that, and that's you preferenced at the very beginning that
Much respect.
As
Much
long
respect.
as consensual and not kids, but that was my experience.
Much respect.
Really sorry about that.
No, I resonate with that as well. I mean, I was as well, and it wasn't a family member, thank God. However, it was still enough of a tumultuous problem that even when I came out as a lesbian, I wondered if it had to do with that instant. It definitely brought up, and that's why it was the first thing that I said, because, one is innocent and doesn't know.
All right. The amount of people that are molested and touched by family members and others in this world is absolutely abhorrent. And I would advise parents to be very careful who they leave their children, who they trust, and watch out for signs. You know your children. You'll know when there's something wrong, or if they feel uncomfortable with the presence of somebody.
Absolutely.
I believe in a higher power.
I'd love to hear from your perspective why you believe in a higher power.
I mean, the household I was raised in, why not? The analogy of one cannot see love, one cannot see air, and it's still there. And, I started going to more clergymen and wanting to understand exactly, my ways of being in the image of a greater creator, understanding I wasn't a mistake. There is a higher source. There's definitely something that has given me these blessings that have nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the bigger picture of things.
I think for me, I was also raised in a very strong religious background, and just as I cannot deny this part of me that is the way I express love, I'd be dishonest if I said that when I sat down and I prayed and I listened, I didn't hear.
Oh no, it's time for the heathen. You have to stop.
No. You are no mistake.
I resonate with some of the things you said too. I do believe in a higher power. I just don't believe in a typical higher power. And I also highly believe in science, so I'm like, I believe in gravity as a higher power. I believe in like entropy as a, like things that are out of our control and stuff. And I want to always keep searching and always keep questioning and like always trying to find like as much love as possible, I guess. And I believe in other people's gods too.
Yeah.
Like I believe in that for y'all, you know what I mean? Like if that's what
Deities.
makes you a better person and makes you feel more yourself and feel more love, like I believe in that.
So I like the way that she said, I believe in that for y'all. Like, if that makes you a better person, and like, I truly believe that human beings need to believe in something. And so, since they need to believe in something, they choose something to believe in and they run with it. It's not exactly a bad thing at all. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, it's just the reality of life. And so certain people take it to the extreme and do certain things, but that's the human's choice.
But I can't say that I believe it for myself because I don't know. I don't want to cast all my eggs in one basket. Yeah.
Guys, thank you. Friends, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
All right, here's what I think. I think that religion and the LGBTQ, I believe that that religion, Christians and such, and the LGBTQ plus community can coexist because they are not mutually exclusive. So I stand by my first remark. It's crazy. I watched the new Work It Out with the Q, Generation Q or something. And one of the characters that was a preacher, I think, she said something around the lines of, the quote went something around the lines of, I'm more closeted about being Christian than about being queer, or something like that. And that resonated with me because I can't escape the gay. It's gay everywhere, so I can't really, look at it. Then I figured it was like, maybe gay has nothing to do with my Christianity. It has absolutely, who I have in my bed, unless that person is a heathen, or like a Satanist, or whatever the fuck, then let's be like this, no. What the shit, no. So anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys have any comments, any oppositions, any questions, any concerns, suggestions for stuff to react to, let me know. Comment down below, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. Tell me I suck, put a thumbs down, I don't know. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Say my babies.